Hello, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to my BizSlay Thursday Q&A. Today we are going to be talking about performance reviews. So thank you for the feedback on my Q&As from January. I did a series of resume videos, training videos on what to do, how to make your resumes more competitive, and the feedback has been so amazing. So I am so happy that a lot of things that I've shared helped you. So definitely check that out on my website, thebizslayer.com. I posted those videos on my site. I am Glenda, for those who don't know who I am. I am a leadership strategist. I am a corporate leader, and I am an officer in my field. I am in the financial services arena. However, my passion is leadership, and particularly leadership for women. And my specialty is definitely giving you tools, not anecdotes, not just anecdotes, but real tools and strategies of how to maximize your leadership to increase where you are. And for many people, I talked with a friend just last week, and for many people, it's not just about the money. The money is important. I know it's important to me, but it's not just about the money. It's about fulfillment. It's about flexibility. Many of you are wives, are mothers, are fathers, you know, you have families, and you're looking for more flexibility to spend time with your family, more fulfillment in your leadership as far as roles, more money. And so these are the tools that are going to help you do that, especially in this marketplace. I talked about this in my resume training series that's on my site, and it's free. I talked about how the market is very competitive right now, and what you did to get your current role is not going to be what you're going to need to do when you get your next role. So today we're going to be talking about performance reviews. Many of you may have already had your performance reviews for 2020 performance. Some of you are in the middle of it, and some of you haven't had it yet. So even if you've had these conversations in your organizations and in your roles, this is going to help you maximize your payout for 2021 and even 2020 if you have a bonus structure that pays out more than once a year. So I'm going to get right into it and give you some quick tips on how to maximize your payout during your performance review period. So let's start with number one, which is your performance review reflects your goals, right? I'm not going to go into what a SMART goal is. Many people know what that is. If you don't, there's enough Google information out there to talk about what a SMART goal is. But one of the things I want to encourage you to do is not take your goals at face value. This is not the time for you to just take the goal. Okay, Glenda, this is your goal for 2021. Okay, and sign off on it. Oh, no. Not for high performers. It doesn't work like that for us, right? As a high performer who knows the value of the resource that they bring to an organization, we don't take goals at face value. Your goal setting session, even before you get to the performance review, should be a conversation. So what should the conversation entail? It should talk about what's the environmental factor that's happening right now, COVID, right? How is that affecting your operations? Especially for people who are in sales or client-facing roles like me. How has COVID and how is COVID affecting your operations right now? Because that's the type of dialogue you need to be having in your goal setting sessions. So if you have a financial goal, sales goal that you need to meet, let's talk about how these environmental factors are going to affect that. Let's have a conversation about what we're going to do together to, one, overcome that. Two, what support are you going to get to make sure that you're not being, and I hate to say this term, but this is how I feel, just to make sure that you're not being set up to fail. So have a conversation about your goals. Never take your goals at face value. Always have a conversation about the goals. Have a conversation, and really your manager, and every manager is not a great leader. There's a difference between a manager and a leader, but your manager should be having and should be proactive in having the conversation about what the department goals look like and why, and what's your individual piece and why, so that you know the playing field and know what's going on. But if they don't, then you should be asking those questions. Okay, so this goal is X. How does that fit into the overall departmental picture? How does that fit with the other people that are on the team? Just to make sure that things are being done fairly. But you have to take ownership of that. This is your career. So make sure, number one, don't take your goals on face value. Have a conversation about your goals. It should be a dialogue, okay? Okay, the second thing that you need to do to maximize your performance payout is keep track of your performance using data. Keep track of your own performance using data. You should be getting reports on your performance. It is not just the manager's responsibility to get those reports. Ask to see them monthly. You should be getting reports on your performance monthly. Some of you are in sales, some of you are in operations and you're measured in different ways. However you're being measured, you should be seeing those reports yourself. Get copies of them. Why? Because that's your performance. You need to get copies of those. It's very important. I'm always shocked at how many people don't keep track of their performance using the systems that are put in place on a monthly basis. Really, those managers should be showing those reports to you. But if they're not showing those reports to you on a regular basis, ask for them. You have a right to those reports that are tracking your performance. Ask for those reports. And you should be tracking those reports in two ways. Your performance should be tracked in a qualitative way and in a quantitative way. What do I mean by that? Not enough people take their performance as seriously as they should. Really, honestly, you should be treating your performance like your job should be like a business. Like your career should be run like a business. This is for many of us, it's our biggest money-making tool we have in our households. Why are we not running our careers like a business? So if you're running your career like a business, you are not running your business with no data. You won't be in business long if you're running it with no data, okay? So you need to get the data on your business. This is the business of Glenda Matthews, soon to be Roberts. This is the business of Glenda. So I treat my performance seriously. I had a conversation with an HR manager today who works for a different company, and I cannot tell you, it's so crazy to me how many people don't come to these performance review sessions with their data backing up why they deserve a bonus and why they deserve a merit increase. Like how it's called evidence-based decision making, and leaders rely heavily on evidence-based decision-making. And so you as a leader need to be doing that in proposing your increases. Don't just let them give you an increase or whatever they want to give you. You know what? It doesn't work like that. It's not just whatever you want to give me now. This is not charity here. This is not a nonprofit experience here. This is not charity. I am putting in place services, skills, abilities, talent, and for an exchange of money. This is not charity here. You're not giving us anything. That's the energy that I bring to these conversations. It's very serious to me. As you can tell, I get really passionate about it. I need to calm down. You know why I'm so passionate? Because I'm just really tired of seeing, especially women of color, not coming to the table with the support, the tools, the things that they need to get what they want, you know? And I'm here to help strengthen those areas and fill in those gaps. And this is how people rise and ascend to these different levels and how their income increases. exponentially. This is how you exponentially increase your revenue. Okay, so quantitative data, I said quantitative and qualitative, right? Quantitative data is about the quantity, the number being measured, something being measured by numbers. So your reports should be showing your quantitative data. So if you're in sales, you should be getting reports on a monthly basis of how your sales are doing. If you're in processing, you should be getting reports on a monthly basis of how your processing outputs, inputs, or whatever are doing, right? Your quality as far as like numbers in terms of percentages, how you're doing from a percentage standpoint, whatever the number measurement is, that's what you should be tracking. That's quantitative. Tracking by numbers, right? Measurement by numbers. Qualitative is by quality, attributes like core competency. So how you're doing from a teamwork standpoint. As far as skills are concerned, how are you doing as it relates to your analytical skills, your detail-oriented skills, your communication skills, those types of things? You should be tracking that on a qualitative basis. So how do you do that? Well, one way is to start keeping track of your performance and your wins from an email perspective. So if somebody had a great experience with you and you helped them, you did a great job on something, get it in writing and keep that in your file. Get it in writing. Get feedback from other departments where you've worked on projects. Don't just wait for your manager to talk to the leaders. Get the feedback yourself. Get it down in writing and keep a file on yourself. It is super important that you manage your career like you would a business. Because this is what separates people who are at the lower end of the salary spectrum. When you go on salary.com and see where you are market-wise, and if you don't do that, then you need to be chatting with me. Because I'll get you strategic, honey. You need to be tracking where you are. You need to know the playing field. That's another thing. That's not even in my notes, but I'm just going to go there. It is important that you know the playing field of where you are. Salaries are based on roles and territory. So based on where you are, you should know if you're at market rate for your role, your experience, and in your territory. Whether that's New York, whether that's Atlanta, whether that's Los Angeles, you need to know. So there are tools out there for you to see where's your salary relative to the market. Because that, again, is a negotiation tool for you, especially if you're looking to leave your company and go to another organization. That's a bonus because that wasn't in my notes. Okay, so you need to keep track of your performance on a monthly basis. So these are the things that you need to be doing as part of the performance review process. Performance reviews aren't just once a year. It's not just in January for the preceding year. It's not just in February, March. It's throughout the year. Your job is to do this, right? And make sure if you're not already doing this, this is what I do because this is how it's important to me to keep the communication with my team as keep it open and keep it as frequent as possible. I never want there to be a surprise of if they're not doing well. I've had to put people on performance improvement plans. I've had to fire people. I've hired people. I've created job descriptions. So as far as being skilled in understanding what it takes to do well from a competency standpoint, I'm pretty strong in those areas. That being said, every single performance review that I've had with my team, there's never been any type of pushback because I have data to support my perspective of that performance. And I also don't wait till the end of the year to talk about it. I have formal mid-year reviews with my people. But if your company doesn't do that, that's okay. You initiate that. You should never go a whole year and not talk about where you are relative to the goals that were set in your performance. Never go a whole year not having that formal conversation. So make sure you're doing that, okay? And the last thing is write your own performance review. Do your own self-evaluation. I can't tell you how many people I hear, and I just talked to an HR professional from a different company this morning, that when you guys have systems in place with your companies and you leave like whole sections blank because people are like, they feel like it's a daunting task to do performance reviews. And I get it. Like, it feels like it's a pain in the neck, but you got to change your mindset about it. This is a revenue generating stream for you. And if you are a top performer who did exceptionally well in 2020, in the middle of COVID, you should be getting paid for that. And honestly, and I'm going to be honest with you because people won't tell you this, regardless of how that company did. Because if you did outstanding work, you should be getting paid something for that outstanding work, regardless of how that company did. I got paid bonuses and the company didn't do well, but my team did. And so we should get paid for that. And I advocated for that. So maybe you don't get a $20,000 bonus because your company didn't do as well in COVID, but you should be getting something. It should not be, well, we didn't do well, so you don't get anything. Oh, no. But how do you get there? You doing things like this can justify, and trust me, as a leader and as a decision maker, when it comes to people's compensation and money and how things are allocated, if you can make a business case for it, it can be done. This is what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, this is the stuff that people don't tell you. This is the stuff that people don't tell you. When you do these things, they can make a business case for you to get something. You should be getting something. It should never be, oh, we didn't do well, so we're not getting a bonus. You're not getting any money. Not if I exceeded my goal in the middle of a pandemic. That's not happening over here. So do your own performance review, even if your company doesn't do self-evaluations. It took me one time to have a bad performance review. I'll share a quick story and then I'm going to log off. Any questions as we're going through? Any questions about performance reviews? We talked about making sure that you negotiate your goals. You're not going to hear that from a lot of people. Yes, negotiate your goals. We talked about keeping track of your data. Keeping track of your performance using data, qualitative data and quantitative data, numbers-based data and attributes-based data. We talked about you being proactive in having formal performance sessions in the middle of the year. Don't wait till the end of the year. And we talked about you doing your own performance review, writing your own performance review, and don't be flippant about it. Take your time and do it right. I talked with somebody recently and it was past due and she just, threw something together. Don't do that. This is money here. Don't just throw your performance review, your self-evaluations, don't throw it together. You're leaving thousands of dollars of money on the table. And you know where it's going? It's going to your peers who are being proactive and are doing what they need to do to get the maximum payout. That's where it's going, because it's going somewhere. Trust me, even if your companies didn't do well, there are payouts being had. Don't let them fool you. It's being had. And if you are looking to transition, you don't want to transition here. You want to transition at the max that you can. So then when you do jump to the next level, you're jumping from here and not here. So it's very, very important. I'll tell you a quick story. I graduated from Morgan State University. Go Bears, back in the early 2000s. Yes, 20 years, I cannot believe it's 20 years ago. Anyway, my first year out of college, I had the best manager and the worst manager all in one. The best because she taught me a lot. The worst because she was horrible in terms of equity and fairness and everything, all down. We can go down all the letters, diversity, equity, inclusion, all of that. She was F. But she did my performance review and it was the most unfair to this day. I've never to this day had a performance review as bad as that one. And it took that one time. I almost lost my job over it. over this performance review. And how I was able to overcome it is, and I'll just be candid with you, I had a senior leader who saw that and knew it was unfair and knew that this person had, I don't know what she had against me. I don't even want to get into what the issue was, but knew it was unfair and said, no, this is not right. This is not fair. He knew this was, I had an advocate, I had an internal advocate, thank God, who knew that wasn't right and changed it and had her do a fair review. Thank God for that internal advocate. But it took that one time of me having the worst performance review ever that I almost lost my job, almost like got taken out before I even got started. For me to say, I would never again put my job and my income in the hands of some other person. Never again. Never again. So from that moment forward, I always did my own review. Support it with documentation, data. Do your own reviews and support it with documentation. You can't do that if you're not tracking your performance throughout the year. Take it seriously. This is not the time to just be, loosey-goosey and I got to do this performance review. Let me just throw something together. Because I'm telling you, you're leaving money on the table and it's going to somebody else, probably your peers. Any questions? I hope this is helpful. I'm going to post this on my social media. Yes. A proven fact about writing your own review. Don't assume your boss knows all that you do. Yes, exactly. They're not keeping track of every little thing that you've done for a whole entire year. That's not even realistic. And another thing that having a conversation about your goals will do, it will ensure that what they put together is fair. It's a smart goal. Yes. Thank you for the feedback. Yes. Thank you. You all are learning. I love it. Any questions while I'm here? I got one more minute, then I'm going to sign off. Any questions on performance reviews and everything that I said? Having the goal conversation. Making sure you're proactive about tracking your data and doing your own review. Keep your own career file. And the biggest lesson, run your career like a business, okay? I'm here to help. I'm going to be posting this, and I'm also going to be releasing, tomorrow is February 19th, and it is year 2. It is the second anniversary of me starting the Biz Slayer, which it started out as a leadership blog 2 years ago. And it has now evolved into a resource company and a consulting business. I'm so excited about that. And so I'm going to celebrate my 2-year run with the Biz Slayer with a blog that I'm releasing on Monday titled The 3 Career Mistakes That Women of Color Are Making That Are Holding Us Back. The 3 career mistakes that women of color are making that are holding us back. I'm going to be releasing that on my website, thebizslayer.com, on Monday. Again, I have our resume training series that I posted on my website on resume writing. I don't consider myself a resume writer. I consider myself like a communication specialist, really, because yes, I have updated people's resumes, but really what I do is empower you with the skills to be able to update your resume at will. So the testimonials that you've seen on social media and on my site, and I haven't even posted all of them, but go on my site, thebizslayer.com. You'll hear the testimonials. You've seen them on social media. Those are from those one-on-one resume revamp sessions. What we do is we'll take an hour time live with me, and we will go through your resume relative to a specific job posting, because you shouldn't be updating your resume in general. It should be specific to a job posting because your resume needs to change and morph and adjust to fit the role. So we do that in conjunction with a job posting of your choice. And we go through from top to bottom on the key things as a hiring manager, what they are going to be looking for so that you can update your resume at will. It's one thing to go Googling what to do with your resume and get a resume service to update your resume from soup to nuts. It's another thing to be able to do it at will. And I believe the power is in you understanding the language so that you can do it at will. And it's also going to help you in your interview process as well. Because then you have this stellar resume, but then you can't deliver when it comes to the interview. What good is that? So anyway, so chat with me if you want to hear more about how I do that and why the testimonials are what they are. And I am coming out with a course because this is so necessary. I know there's so much that you people just need to know and I want to share. So anyway, thank you so much for the feedback, and I'm going to be posting this shortly. DM me, Jabber DM, email me, glenda@thebizslayer.com. I want to hear from you. Send me questions. I'm here to help you. So chat with me and we'll get you going, okay? Thank you.